You're watching Seven River Sports here on KQEG. I'm your host, Terry Erickson. Each week, an inside look into sports, wellness, and into fitness. Well, this week, my guest is Aquinas High School student athlete, a senior, Jared Everson. Welcome to the show, Jared.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, as we tape the show here on August 26th, school began today.
Yep.
At Aquinas Catholic Schools. And you have chosen to go online because you have a lot of things going on this fall. We're going to talk about that. But of course, students have the option to go online, whether it's public school, private school, and you've chose to go online. So before we get into like your baseball, let's talk a little bit about how you feel about going online and what are your classes and what's the procedure.
I think it's a good challenge to go online, but I'm very comfortable with it because of last year we had to do the whole fourth quarter online. So I kind of know how it rolls a little bit, and so we'll have assignments due every other day, and my classes are easier this year, so hopefully I can get my GPA up higher, and yeah, it'll be good. I think it's good for me to go online for the first quarter. Good.
And then after that, middle of October, then you'll be in-person classrooms.
Yep, I plan on going back to class.
Do you have a hard schedule of lots of classes this fall?
No, not really. My tougher ones are in the spring, I think. I'm taking economics. That will be a challenge for online. But just keeping up with everything. It should be easier because every other day we'll have to turn in stuff. So
good. Well, you know that there's a lot of things going on in the world, and certainly the pandemic, COVID-19, threw a curve and a wrench and a turmoil into a lot of people's lives. And you were able to, you had a busy summer, which we'll get into, where a lot of kids maybe the setback, a quiet, maybe uneventful summer. That wasn't you at all, and we're going to discuss all of that. Also, during this period of time, the social injustice, the racial issues, and of course you as a senior and traveling throughout the country, you've seen some of that. Do you notice there's some of that that occurs in lacrosse?
I would say yes, but I mean,
well, the world someday, you will be in charge.
Yeah.
It'll be your world, and so obviously you want to see some of these things change. Are there some ideas that you as a young person have that can maybe help these situations?
I think obviously supporting Black Lives Matter is a big part of it, and just, I mean, everybody's human, everybody's a person, so treating them any other way is not the right thing to do, obviously.
Have you seen, as you traveled a lot in different cities and so on, as we said, you had an eventful summer, did you see some of those situations that maybe were a little bit unpleasant?
No, not unpleasant. What I saw was actually pretty good. I mean, everybody was treated fairly, everyone was treated great, and everybody in the game of baseball is really professional about that stuff.
You know, the pandemic was a setback for a lot of young people. You started your fall season, you just got into it, your spring season, you just got into it, and then it ended. So that was, in baseball, of course, your sport.
Yeah.
And a lot of people didn't handle that setback very well, but you took that, you saw a silver lining in it, and you took that and you went in a different direction throughout the entire summer.
Yep, I was very fortunate to have my dad home too. So in the spring, right when that happened, he had to come home from spring training because Major League Baseball shut down. So for the next 4 months, it was just me and him every day on the field, practicing, getting better, working on my weaknesses and making them into strengths. And now I'm refining everything.
Good. Well, you know that there's you have a great deal of potential. In fact, I talked to Carl Richter, your coach, during the summer, and he shared some of that with you. But an Aquinas High School senior, and your life and your high school days are coming to an end before too long. It seems like is that kind of concern you a little bit that it's going that quickly?
I mean, it is kind of scary to get into the real world and college and that stuff, but I feel like in my life I've seen so much of the outside world that it'll be an easier adjustment for me personally.
You were on the varsity as a freshman. Not too many freshmen get to that level. So you had your freshman and sophomore year, and your junior year didn't occur.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was pretty special, you being on a team. And of course, Coach Bagneski's a good friend of mine. I know the quality of that program. So you're in the right program, aren't you?
Yeah, Coach Baggs is great. He really cares about his players, and we just love competing and we want to win.
Well, I mentioned at the beginning, a student athlete at Aquinas High School, Jared Everson. Of course, academics comes first, and you've demonstrated that because you've been an academic all-conference performer.
Yep, that's something that I'm proud of because obviously academics come first, and if you don't have good grades, you can't get into college, and nobody wants you. So.
Well, leadership is a big part of developing an overall athlete, student athlete at Aquinas, and you've demonstrated that leadership. You've been involved in some leadership programs there.
Yep, I'm in a program called Impact, and we are in the community. We have a community garden, and we serve meals to the elderly.
Mm-hmm. You know, Aquinas, the mission statement is to develop an overall student athlete with Christian principles and so on. That's the mission statement, and of course, I'm very familiar with Aquinas and their staff, quality school, quality education. But a lot of people probably don't know much about Aquinas that maybe are watching the show this week. Share what's special about Aquinas.
What's special about Aquinas is that all the teachers really care, and obviously we don't have as many kids as public schools, so it's very centered around getting you better at what you need to get better at in school, and really focusing on the values of Christianity and the Catholic religion. Mm-hmm. So it's really important to them to teach that to us, and obviously we give good feedback back to them, and we learn a lot.
You know, you live in Holman.
Yep.
So you certainly had the option of going to Aquinas or going to Holman. Mm-hmm. And was that a difficult decision when you were in 8th grade?
It was, because obviously going to public to private school that you don't really know much about, but after you start making phone calls, you start learning about the varsity sports there, the religion there was important to me, and the academics was probably the biggest thing, honestly, because everyone that comes out of Aquinas is usually pretty smart and pretty have good personalities, like good people.
Well prepared for what's ahead,
yeah.
Whether it's a 2-year, a 4-year, mm-hmm. or some kind of a trade. Family's a big part of who you are too. Mom, dad, 2 sisters. Talk about what they mean to you in terms of your education and your athletic career.
My mom and my dad are very supportive of me, and they're very supportive of my decision to go to Aquinas. And they've helped me all 3 years, upcoming 4th year, through school, supporting me. Mom and dad have been great.
As you said, Dad not around a lot during the baseball season.
Yep, usually not.
We happen to run across him when we're in Arizona for spring training, because that's where our family goes each and every March. So you don't get a chance to see him much during the baseball season.
No, I don't. But this virus that's happened, this pandemic, has given me the opportunity to spend a lot of time with him, and that's been good for me personally, even though that the season's not normal for the major leagues and the minor leagues isn't happening. So. Well,
that's certainly a plus where he's home, yep. And around, but he's probably getting a little restless too.
Yep, we actually got a dog 2 weeks ago, so it's keeping him busy.
When you graduate in May, then the next chapter of your life, and you've already got plans for college.
Yep, I am committed to University of Minnesota, and I'm very excited about that. I love all the coaches. I love the culture they have set there with their baseball program, and obviously their academics is really good.
And you've talked to their coaches and...
Yep.
And
I went to visit there, and all the facilities are great. I love all the coaches. They do what I believe in. What I believe in a team, in a leadership standpoint, and as they create good players, so very good development program.
What's special about them? You know, all of us have had different coaches, different people in our lives, but you're attracted to their culture.
What really set them apart was when I watched them on the field. I went to one of their games, and I watched them work out, and the way they all had the force and drive to get better. I didn't see that from many other programs that were interested in me, and I love the culture that all the coaches have set for their players.
The level of expectation, enthusiasm,
Yep.
Contagious. Did you look at some other options too?
Yeah, I did. I had some other schools. I went on one other visit, but Minnesota was just a place for me.
Okay. So you're going to study sports management then?
That's the plan.
And then that will take you to a lot of different options, I imagine.
Yep. If baseball doesn't work out in the future, I want to be a sports agent. I think that'd be really cool. Or obviously get into coaching, like what my dad is doing.
Yeah, you can follow him along all over the country. That wouldn't be a bad lifestyle. Well, we're going to step aside just for a minute. When we come back, more here on Seven River Sports.
With our busy lives, it's a comfort to know that we can still remember loved ones in a traditional way with a monument. Lewiston Monuments in Lewiston, Minnesota has been helping families purchase a monument for over 4 generations. You'll find a large selection of beautiful granite, marble, and bronze monuments, all at competitive prices. And they're a full-service company, so they also do straightening, cleaning, and repair of monuments. Stop in or call for a no-obligation consultation, or visit lewistonmonument.com for more information.
You know, the thing I'm most proud of when I think about our company is the reputation that we've been able to build in this community. Our technicians have done a great job going out and performing magnificent jobs for the customer. And our customers have rewarded us with some really great reviews online.
We have over 150 5-star reviews online right now. Our technicians do a great job out there, and our reviews show it.
We can say without hesitation, when you choose Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, you'll be glad you did.
Welcome back to Seven River Sports again this week. Jared Everson, student athlete, Aquinas High School. Talked early in the first part of the show about you had an adventurous summer. You played for a team called the Sticks Academy out of Waukesha. Elite program with athletes that are destined to become college players. You had a choice to play in some other programs in Wisconsin, the GRB, and there was another elite program too. But you played for the right program, because looking at what happened this summer and traveling to Kansas and Indianapolis and all over, it was a successful experience for you.
Yes, for sure. Playing with them was great. I was introduced to the Sticks players when I was in last August in Georgia for the Futures Games. A bunch of uncommitted young guys playing down there on a team against other states. And I met a bunch of Sticks players, and I was like, well, I want to play with you guys. I want to play for you guys. I want to help you guys win.
Again, going to Milwaukee and Cincinnati and Indianapolis and so on. Share some of the experiences there and the kind of competition and players on your roster.
Well, it's a whole different ballgame playing against elite competition, because all the pitchers are throwing 86 to 93, and the whole game is just faster. And once you play that for a tournament, you get used to it. So, and everything was great with Sticks. I mean, all the guys are great. I think almost the whole team is committed to go play college baseball. And yeah, we're just a great group of guys, and we love competing.
Your teammates from all over the state of Wisconsin or further?
Most of them are from Milwaukee. There's one from up north in Wisconsin, and everyone else is from the Milwaukee area.
I talked to your coach, Carl Richter, and he shared some good things about you, statistical information and so on, but he also said you have a great personality, tremendous amount of potential, good sense of humor. You must have got along with him pretty well.
Yeah, we did. Obviously, the game of baseball, you have to have fun with it. So, I mean, joking around, having fun with the guys, it's obviously a part of the game.
A typical weekend would be several games, Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Yep, sometimes maybe Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Who knows? If we win, we keep playing. Hopefully we keep playing to the end.
But you said you had some good success because you beat the 2 other elite teams in the state of Wisconsin.
Yep, we did. We competed hard against them. They're very good programs. They made us play to our top potential, so that was great to see.
Yeah, and you had a solid summer playing first base, batted cleanup. Statistics tell me you played 20 games, you batted .313. What I like and stands out here is your on-base percentage, .460. So, I mean, you achieved everything you wanted during the summer?
Yes, I did. Seeing that level of competition really, I think, made me more confident that I can play with the really good competition that's out there in the country.
So we're going to be looking forward to you playing spring baseball for the Aquinas Blue Golds.
Yep. That'll be obviously adjustment with playing at the high school level, but my expectation is to come in the conference and help my team win as much as we can.
Playing against tough competition only makes you, or should make you, better.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's been the case with you. Was there in all these experiences, all this travel, was there a certain team that was just pretty impressive?
There was a lot. There was a lot of teams that we never heard of that had guys that were throwing 94, that were guys that were projected to be drafted next year. And I think one of the games a couple of games we beat up on a couple really good pitchers, which was good for us, good for the program. And obviously, the games that we don't win are all learning experiences.
Well, you must have impressed a lot of people batting fourth, and your batting average we talked about. You know, in your profile, all of us have people that inspire us, and your role model happens to be somebody that you mentioned earlier on.
Yeah, my dad has been a big part of my life. Just all the experiences that he's given me the opportunity to be in, going to spring training every year. A couple years ago, I got to travel with him with his AA team for the whole summer, his whole season, and that was a really cool experience to almost live the life as a professional baseball player.
You know, as somebody with a gift as you have, that's an academic and athletic standout, leadership, you're on a sort of a pedestal, you're on a platform, people identify with you. The young kids would like to be a Jared Everson someday. So leadership is part of that whole package. What does leadership mean to you?
Leadership is everything, because if your teammates have your back, and then they can trust you, and everyone can have fun, and hopefully play to their top potential.
You mentioned earlier on, too, before we went on the air, about passion. You know, a lot of people either mail it in or just are lukewarm in their passion, but that is not you, is it?
No, some guys say they love baseball, but they don't show it. So you got to show to your teammates that you love baseball and show your passion to them. And once they see that, they'll be motivated to gain more passion themselves, to want to win more, to want to compete more.
Again, our guest this week, Jared Everson, who probably there's something about you people don't know. What is that?
I don't think that people know how good I am, because I haven't played in lacrosse baseball for almost 2 years now.
So you've improved in what area specifically?
I've refined my speed by a lot, and my hitting ability against tough competition has gotten really well, obviously, with the numbers that I put up. My on-base percentage, my play discipline. I walked a lot, and I take my walks, so obviously that's a big part of my game.
Well, you played with our grandson Julian, and one of his biggest strengths is he walked a lot too, because he had great bat discipline also.
Yep.
And
it's a big part.
Oh, absolutely. So There's a quote too that you really like, and I can identify with it, and it's really about preparation.
Mm-hmm. So basically, if you're not prepared for what you're doing, and you just want to feel prepared all the time, and if you're not prepared, then you're prepared to fail. And if you do fail, you don't want to have any regrets. So you want to prepare as much as you can, so you have no regrets to say, oh, I could have done this, I could have done that. You want to do everything in your power so you're ready for what's coming ahead of you.
And that's what you've done throughout the summer. Well, Mark Spitz said that, and
Yep.
Olympic athlete Benjamin Franklin talked about preparation. Abe Lincoln said, if I had 6 hours to chop down a tree, I'd spend 4 hours sharpening the axe. That's preparation.
Yeah, it is.
So, but you've went above and beyond this summer. You talked about increasing your speed. A lot of people are probably wondering, how do you increase your speed?
It does take a lot of time and a lot of patience, but obviously weight training is a big part of it, and doing hill sprints, that's been a huge part. That's really helped my mechanics and my drive for everything.
Did somebody identify or lay that schedule and all those drills and all those ways to improve out for you?
Actually, yes, I have been doing stuff with WEC Method. They have different tools that help you run faster. They have different like shaker things that you put in your hands, and they make me feel just so connected in my body that I feel so good when I run.
Good, good. So you're a completely different player than what we saw as a sophomore at Aquinas, aren't
Yep.
you? And it's because you've taken the road least traveled and paid the price.
Yep.
No question about it. All of us have run across people that have given us advice over the years. Is there any particular piece of advice that somebody gave you that was a sort of a defining statement for you?
Basically, like, what's your goal? Where do you want to be? And if you don't work to where you want to be, you're never going to get there. So it's all about putting the work into what you want to achieve.
Now, you're busy training, you're busy in school, but what are the hobbies? What are some things that you like to do when you're not involved with those other activities?
I like to work out. I like to do anything in my power to get me better at baseball, whether it's mental side or anything, because obviously mental game is a huge part of life, and having a strong mental game will help you overcome almost anything, I think.
I've seen a lot of athletes, and I'm sure you have too, that have the skill, but mentally they're not disciplined. They're not focused. They're selfish, or they're just lazy, or they have a gift and they just don't honor it by working hard. But you're a little bit unique because you've sort of mastered, or you're on your way to mastering the mental part of the game. How have you done that?
I read a lot of books. Mental game of baseball has helped me a lot. Heads Up Baseball. Just a lot of mental stuff. I look at quotes, a lot of mental quotes. I have an app on my phone that sends me motivational quotes every day. So obviously that kind of refines everything around skill. So if you don't have a good mental game, you won't achieve much.
So you're far more advanced than most young people your age. But so you're in the batter's box, and your strength is your hitting, and you've improved that a great deal, of course. What are you thinking about when you're in the box?
Just hit the ball hard. Just be early and on time. That's all it's about.
Early and on time, but you're thinking about maybe what a particular pitcher maybe threw to you the first time you were there, what his strength. I mean, you study the pitches and the mechanics and the tendencies of a pitcher.
Yep, that all starts in the dugout. You need to watch how the pitcher pitches other hitters, whether the ball is straight, the fastball is straight or has sink, whether he throws curveball on a certain pitch, fastball on a certain pitch, and hunt that.
Yeah.
And if you don't hunt it, then you're going to be surprised by it, and
Yeah.
then you're going to be late.
Because all pitchers have tendencies, and there's some predictability.
There is.
There's no question about it. Well, it's been a pleasure to have you, and as we talked about earlier, Jared, you took the road least traveled and you paid the price this summer, and good things are on the horizon for you. Again, our guest this week, Jared Everson, student athlete at Aquinas High School. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
All right, we'll be back with some closing thoughts right after this.
You know, the thing I'm most proud of when I think about our company is the reputation that we've been able to build in this community. Our technicians have done a great job going out and performing magnificent jobs for the customer. And our customers have rewarded us with some really great reviews online.
We have over 150 five-star reviews online right now. Our technicians do a great job out there, and our reviews show it.
We can say without hesitation, when you choose Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, you'll be glad you did.
When you're faced with the decision of selecting a monument to honor someone dear to you, call Lewiston Monuments for a no-obligation consultation. Lewiston Monument is a full-service monument company, serving families in Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin for over 4 generations. You'll find beautiful granite, marble, and bronze memorials, all at competitive prices. Their experts can help you design the perfect and unique memorial. Lewiston Monument. Call today or on the web at lewistonmonument.com.
Welcome back to Seven Rivers Sports. I hope you enjoyed our interview with Jared Everson. Well, as you know, the fall football schedule has been disrupted with COVID-19. However, we will be scheduling and covering some games beginning at the end of September. So check the local listing for our Friday night coverage. Seven Rivers Sports will continue to try to broaden our list of guests and topics to improve the show. If you have a thought on a guest or a topic, please contact us here at the studio. Thanks for joining us this week. I'm your host, Terry Erickson, hoping that you will have an enjoyable and an active week ahead.